Before we start, we have one quick announcement. Excited's been hard at work. In case you were wondering, he does like Kingdom Hearts.
A little bit too much. It is my life. I own Keyblades that I have brought. There are two things in this world that I love. It is Kingdom Hearts, and it is tabletop RPGs. So, as a passion project that I've been working on for about a month, I've been creating a Kingdom Hearts role-playing game that is currently in a very early stage, but you are able to download it and check it out. You can find the links, I'm assuming, in the description below.
They're there.
If Eddie is nice. There is a Discord all for it that I have set up, which includes other links and such that goes towards the books, the character sheets, and even a Trello page, which has the roadmap for everything that will be included later and what is currently being worked on.
Hey.
Obviously, I am not affiliated with Disney or Square Enix.
Right, that was one thing that I wanted to make sure to say. This is not an officially licensed.
This is a fan-made project for free, non-profit. So don't sue me.
Right, and of course right now it's just, obviously there's no campaigns set up. This is more so a framework to get you started. Your game master would have to be familiar with running games without a campaign for now, at least.
Yeah, it has all the basic rules, some keyblades, abilities, some enemies. Not all everything is there. I'm still fleshing everything out. As I said, it is early stages, bare bones. Okay. So
it's a skeleton.
Exactly, but it's cool in my opinion.
I think it's cool.
So there are elements of 5e, but the biggest thing is it's not a D20 system, it's a D100 system.
That's right.
So there are things like combat, and this is called battle, that is very similar to D&D Dungeons and Dragons, but there are elements that are completely made up on its own, inspired by other TTRPGs like Pathfinder, Mothership, Call of Cthulhu, so on and so forth. It is a Frankenstein of a system right now.
But it's fun.
Yes.
And that's the important part. So, if you're interested in at least taking a peek, in the description, everything's there. There's a Google Drive folder with Sourcebook, character sheet, and character...
the Sourcebook, character sheet, and info sheet. The info sheet is technically like the back of the character sheet, but it's digital, so it's two separate sheets.
Oh, it's crazy. And the Discord, like you said, everybody's free to join. That is probably it's going to be the only Discord that's run by the creator himself. Yeah. If you have any questions, if you have any criticisms, if you have any advice or whatever, that's free range to be discussed there. It's a discussion to make a greater product for everybody.
Exactly. If you have criticisms, I don't want to hear it, okay? I know everything's right. You are wrong. That's a lie. Please give me your criticisms.
We're just here to have fun. So this is what we're gonna show is just all of what's available for you in the description. It's there already. But this is just like the resources to help you make your own game, I guess, out of it.
It is the bare bones thing that you need to even like run a session. Even then, it's probably not enough to run. It's enough to run like a level 1 session.
Right.
Yeah, if we like just go through here, we have like everything, what it says, what you'll need, which is a Master of Masters, or in like in D&D terms, a DM. This is a person who navigates everything, describes everything, makes the story go along. Set of players, they're called wielders because it's topical. You'll need a set of polyhedral dice because you'll utilize literally every piece of a set within the system itself, and a character sheet that can be found in the Discord that you can join. If we have that, yeah.
Yepper.
Looks a lot like this. It is fairly bare bones. It looks a little weird because of Adobe Acrobat and what I used and such, but
when you print it out, it'll
yeah,
it'll look better. Or if you preview it not in like the edit mode.
But you can put your maximum HP in the very topical HP gauge that looks more akin to regen of memories than it would like Kingdom Hearts 1, but it made more sense to put it in the top left.
Yeah.
You also have space for your name, your amount of money, and your XP if you choose to do the XP route instead of milestone. The top right, there is the darkness meter, which is not fledged out at all, but
Darkness.
yeah, the more darkness you accumulate with a maximum of 10, the more darkness abilities you'll get, and strong with darkness properties and such. But there's a caveat that is planned once you reach maximum darkness. Well, you're evil.
You're kind of evil now, so
that can either be used as you are fully evil, you are now an enemy of the group, make a new wielder and such to battle this new darkness entity.
That could be cool too.
Or you can go a whole different route where everybody is evil. Everybody controls the Heartless.
That's actually really fun.
That's at least my plan.
That's exciting. As
I said, nothing is set in stone, so it might change. It might get better.
Yeah.
It might get worse.
You'll have to talk with your Master of Masters before you really make... Well, I mean, I guess you don't have to. You can just be like, well, I'm evil now.
So there will be, like, definitely...
Just know that if you become evil, there could be consequences.
But I have things set in specific places, especially, like, around here, where the actual gauges for the health, like your maximum health, your maximum HP, and maximum focus are on the actual gauges themselves and such, which I just thought was cool. This one needs fixed, but that's okay. Let's say it's fucking... You would definitely not have a total of 17 focus right out the gate, but name it Winton with 999 money and 10,000 experience points, which would probably be like level 10.
If you play with experience.
Yeah, which who really plays with experience, but some people do, so that's why it's there. Much like Dungeons and Dragons, you have a certain set of skills that you can use. In Dungeons and Dragons, there's strength, constitution, so on and so forth. For here, it is based on the powers that you can choose at the beginning of all the Kingdom Hearts games, but expanded to add 3 more to make it more tabletop friendly. So there's strength, defense, charm, which would be like persuading and such, agility, moving around, sense, looking around, hearing, and will, which is your main stat for magic and such. So when it comes to abilities, there is a ton of abilities. I spend probably a little bit too much time
making
on abilities, but they are all based on where are they? All based on abilities pre-existing in the Kingdom Hearts games themselves, mainly Kingdom Hearts 1, which is taking the most inspiration from, with plans of branching out and doing more abilities from 2 and 3, which there are already some, but not a lot.
I mean, it's only natural to start with the first one anyways,
It's my favorite one, so that's the one I'm focusing on the most, but obviously there's plans for other things from other games too. But in order to use abilities, unlike in the games where they're just static abilities and such, and they either go off at random times or by a push of a button, it's more akin to, well, tabletop RPGs where you have to spend resources to use them. So there are some that don't require you to do other things, like Combo Plus, which just gives you an additional attack per your main action, or Critical Plus, which adds more critical hit chance and such.
Oh yeah. Even just like, I'm looking at the first 2, dodge, roll, and guard, as a reaction. Like, that's perfect. And that's a lot like the Dark Souls board game we played. Yeah. Because, like, you can take a risk to take no damage, or you can just use it to take half or less.
Yeah, this system is basically just like a hodgepodge of all the systems that I've liked and thought that they were good.
It all sounds fun, though. That's the thing.
But there are like abilities and such that are mainly used for combat and such, like Blitz. In the Kingdom Hearts games, you can use Blitz to take a really powerful overhead strike and attack an enemy from above. And in later games, you hit multiple times. So it took that idea from the later games, having it so you can strike an enemy overhead a total of 3 times. But for each attack, you need to make an attack roll. And if you miss one of the attack roll, the ability ends. It's much like the game.
Yeah.
In order to use Blitz, you need to spend 2 focus, which is what we talked about earlier, an expendable resource. But we have a total of, I do believe it was 36 combo abilities, combat abilities. Then we have some support abilities. So like there's Scan. In the game, Scan just shows you the enemy's hit points. In this one, it gives you insight on an enemy's weakness, if there is one. It does cost 1 AP. And the thing about AP cost, much like the games, you have a certain amount of AP that you can equip abilities with, and over time, over leveling up, you get more, and you can equip more for a maximum of, I think I have 12, so they're 10 or 12, I can't remember. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it is kind of similar to having only certain spells that are like in your book or whatever at a time. So there's a pool that you can choose from, but you can only have so many.
Exactly. Much like in the games, for support abilities, there are like boosts to certain damage. Like if you are a caster that uses fire a lot, there is a fire boost that increases your fire damage by an additional damage die. So on and so forth. There are more protection support abilities because there are more status effects in the tabletop RPG rather than the games. Yeah, there's a ton of status effects, but you don't really see them often unless you're getting attacked by a very specific enemy that you've seen rarely. So there are like burn effects and such, which was mainly prominent in Kingdom Hearts 3 that is in here. Stun, which is universal but rarely used. Slow, that's the same thing. Confused, I have slow on here twice for some reason. But
it's all pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Poison, blind, HP boost, which gives you an extra 10 to your HP. Same with MP and focus. And then last we have mobility abilities.
Focus boost could be good.
Yeah. Unlike in the games where the mobility abilities are shared across the entire party, this is per individual. So you could have someone who has high jump, which is increase your height by, your jump height by 100%, which unlike in like D&D, where it's kind of hard to calculate exactly how high you can jump, because then you have to multiply something by your strength modifier and your height and such. Everybody has a base jump of 5 feet. Because in the games, everybody can jump stupidly high. So everybody has a jump height of 5 feet in the tabletop RPG.
Sora in his balloon shoes.
Exactly.
Going, meow.
So if you have the high jump ability, the 5 feet increases to 10 feet. And then, much like in Kingdom Hearts 2, there is a aerial dodge and such, but in this case, it's a double jump, which gives you half of a height of a jump that you can do in midair. So if you have high jump and double jump, that's 15 feet of jump.
Yeah.
So you can fucking fly. There are...
That's fun, too.
Every consumable item that you can use in the games are on here, with 3 extras to accommodate for 3 extra abilities. So like in the games, there's magic boost, defense boost, AP boost, power boost. So it only made sense to put the agility, charm, and sense boosts in here with no pictures because I'm not drawing them right now.
Well, yeah, this is like you just finished it the other day, and you were even editing it this morning.
Yes.
So as we've iterated a few times, one, of course, this has no affiliation with
no. God, no.
Kingdom Hearts, Square Enix, Disney, none of that. This is just for fun. This is just for people who just want to add a different twist to their tabletop RPGs. And 2, this is very early. Like, this is the smallest amount of info you'd probably need to have, like, an encounter. You can make a story out of it, but not.
You definitely can. When it comes to like battles and such, it works a bit like D&D where there's an initiative order and everybody goes on their turn. Unlike rolling with a specific initiative stat, like in D&D, everybody rolls agility, and since it's a it's a D100 system, the lower on the D100 that you roll, the sooner that you go.
Oh, okay.
There is
quicker. I got like less time, reaction time to start.
Much like D&D, the action economy goes main action, movement, extra action, free action where you can do a various amount of things, and a reaction. This will more than likely be like the main thing that will change. This is pretty much just placeholder and such.
Okay.
Mainly because extra action, there's not much you can do with extra action. When it comes to using certain abilities, that's a main action, because there's a lot of combat abilities that let you strike more than just once.
Yeah, it's a lot of main action heavy abilities rather than... Because like Dungeons and Dragons healing word, that is a healing spell that's a bonus action only. Whereas in this, the extra action, you'd have to have a different healing, I guess. Different cure.
When it comes to like play styles, are people who play Kingdom Hearts who solely use physical attacks and Ars Arcanum and so on and so forth, and they like to play like that. So you can do that for this as well, keeping your main actions close to strength build, so on and so forth. And there are even abilities and ways to play where you only use magic. There are abilities that let you cast more than one spell per an attack, and the cool thing about that, those can stack too if you get more than one. And
I did see some of them said stackable.
Yes. I do not have a limit to how many times you can stack those. So if your Master of Masters gives you 7 of those boys and you want to equip them all so you can attack 7 times in a row, absolutely you can.
We'll see.
We'll see if that changes. Probably won't, but
I mean,
mainly,
there's probably not too many instances where that would happen on accident.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. When it comes to your consumables, your items, potions, aethers, so on and so forth, I have those in the extra action function, whereas in like D&D, and normally the 2014 edition, the one that everybody plays, the potion and such is an action. No one really likes that, so it's usually homebrewed too. You can do either an action or a bonus action. For this, it's a extra action, so quote unquote bonus action to make things easier.
Even 5th edition kind of changed that just recently.
They didn't like it enough that they had to change it. So it's not like, oh, I'm able to attack 3 times with my combo pluses, but I need to use my potion. And if I use my potion, then my turn's over. No, you're going to use an extra action, and then you're going to fuck shit up.
Because that's lame.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to magic and types of damage and such, magic also takes main actions, much like just hitting, as I said like before. If you want to do strictly magic, you can do strictly magic. But when it comes to types of properties of damage, it's a lot like, well, D&D, but also a lot like every other combat-focused thing.
They're all pretty derivative of each other.
The only like difference, instead of it being like bludgeoning and such, those fancy words, it's a little bit more funny with slashing, bashing, stabbing.
Bashing.
When it comes to magic, there's a lot more different properties of magic. There's fire, frost, lightning, gravity, darkness, and light. Then we got the status effects and everything. Currently, there is no death or anything, quote unquote death. Anything. So you're under, like, if you hit 0 HP, you're under just the knocked out. Because that's what it is in the games, you're knocked out. When it comes to critical hits, I would say it's a bit more difficult to reach a critical hit in this system right now, because in order to hit an enemy, you need to roll underneath your associated stat, like with your weapon. So let's say your weapon uses your strength stat, and your strength stat is 40. You need to roll underneath the 40 and you're gonna hit. But let's say I roll a 1, a number 1 on D100, that is a critical hit. And when you get a critical hit, all the damage that you do for that round is doubled.
Yeah. So it is tougher. So to hit, then it's not necessarily the
It's not
enemies.
it's not like you're going against an enemy's armor or anything like that. It's just how well you can hit. When it comes to Master of Masters and they're controlling enemies, now it's a little bit different, where you have to aim towards your wielder's defense. But it works much of the same.
Okay.
And
yeah, that makes sense. It's all player character based rather than...
Exactly. And when it comes to enemies, we have a version 2 of the mock-up for these stats, which makes it... The previous one was even more bare bones than it was now, and I didn't like it, so I changed it literally this morning.
Nice.
This one, it shows like all their attacks, their abilities, and even their respective stats. The stats, where normally they don't necessarily use them to attack and such, as just a D100 roll. If they hit the defense, they hit the defense and such.
Yeah.
And has their properties there too. These stats would be for their saving throws and such.
Okay.
So if you have...
Where you just need them
if you have a spell that requires them to make an agility saving throw, then they have to roll and try to get underneath their agility. Since they're, at least the Shadow and Soldier, Heartless are the, like, beginning enemies. They're not super strong, they're not super agile, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a rock, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little harder for them to save, so it's more likely for them to fail. And one thing that I had to include when it came to the Shadows, everybody's least favorite ability of theirs is literally to turn into a shade and go into the ground and be impervious to damage.
I can't believe you did that.
For 1 round, but it requires them to use an action to pop back up, so if they use it, they cannot attack.
Gotcha.
And then I have the Red Nocturne, the only one that I could remember the name of.
At the time.
They are slightly more deadly because of their charge attack, which in-game, all they do is just charge and fire a big ball of fire towards you. In this case, they charge it, but they pretty much upcast their fire to Fyra and such. So it deals more damage, and you need to make a defense save or become under the burned status, which will tick down like 1 HP per round until it's put out, which usually lasts like a few rounds, or unless you take an extra action to put it out. And then we have one boss, which is of course the first boss. Darkseid has all of its abilities and attacks. It has one attack that doesn't have in the game, and that's a swipe attack on a single enemy. It doesn't just go straight down and such. In the games, they mainly have the Shockwave, Dark Punch, Homing Darkness, and Sphere of Darkness. Now, Darkseid is a little difficult, mainly because the Sphere of Darkness is like a midway game ability. In the games, when that happens, it hurts a lot more. In this, it's toned down a little bit. If I was really trying to take it from the game, it would do like a D10 of damage. But in this one, it does a D4.
And even if you wanted to, you can just have like Darkseid Revisited or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can basically, if you want, your Master of Masters can make Destiny Islands.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to
or whatever you want, but if you need like a setting.
When it comes to spells, you have all the traditional spells out from Kingdom Hearts 1 with a few Kingdom Hearts 2 spells in here. So you have Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, Cure, Gravity, and Stop, along with Arrow and such. Within each spell, there is a description, the range, how much MP it consumes, so on and so forth. So for like Stop, it causes an enemy to make a strength save, or their movement is reduced to 0 until its next turn, so it just cannot move. I'll probably change the word to the end of its next turn, so it makes more sense. But the one thing that I like a little bit more than like D&D is the actual consumable MP. Instead of having spell slots, you have a total MP that will slowly go down, so you can cast anything as long as you have enough, and you can regain that MP mid-battle with an Aether, so you can continue to cast. Like if I'm playing D&D as a wizard and I'm out of spell slots, what the hell am I gonna do? Attack with my staff for a D4 damage? Yeah, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna take an Aether, I'm gonna regain 3, and I'm gonna cast Fire again.
That's nice.
Another thing, there is Magnet as well that causes things to get closer to you if they fail their strength save.
yeah, a lot of this, if you're familiar with tabletop RPGs, it'll probably be pretty self-explanatory.
Now, I did add 2 custom spells that are not in the game.
What
they are more so akin to like buffs and such for other classes like strength and everything. So we have a speed magic, which is called haste, along with hastera and hastaga. And then we have a strength one which increases damage die for a specific turn, called valor and valora and valorga.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you are a class, let's say, like defense, which would probably be associated with, I don't know, like paladin or something. They're strong, they can take hits, but they can also cast spells. So what are you gonna do when you're protecting your friends? You're gonna make sure that they are too fast to get hit, or they're too strong to
buff them up,
do anything, or even cast arrow on them to increase their defense.
Buff yourself.
Yeah, or buff yourself. You want to be
big man.
Big man, you can. So we do have some weapons here. The weapons are supposed to be very straightforward, simple to read and use. So on here you have their skill, which what you will be rolling for in order to hit. So some are solely for strength, some are for defense, will, agility, so on and so forth. Do their own amount of damage for the struggle sword and wooden sword, struggle hammer, so on and so forth. Since they're the very beginning weapons that you'll probably ever get, they're pretty weak.
It's covered in foam.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have any sort of like bonus to them. They're just a thing off the ground. They're not super interesting. And since they're made of like foam and wood, they only do bashing damage.
Right. Yeah, that sword's not gonna cut anything.
But if you go down, let's say you're using the Dream Sword in your Station of Awakening and such, it's much of the same, but it has different properties of damages since it's the very beginning. That doesn't do much, but now it does slashing damage or magic damage, and you also gain a bonus to it, so you get a +5 to your Strength skill, which makes it just a little bit easier to hit.
Yeah, I was like +5. That's I was like, oh wait, you have to roll under.
Yep.
That's right.
So, much like Keyblades, these are all like starter Keyblades. We got the normal Kingdom Key, Dawn Till Dusk, which was in Kingdom Hearts 3, same with Star Cluster. Starlight was mainly in the mobile games, and then we have King Mickey's starting Keyblade, which is all about magic and such. And much like the Dreams, they increase +5, but since they're the beginning Keyblades, they don't have like too great of a bonus. Yeah, but they have a little bit more damage.
It's nice to have a variety too, even if it's just for like looks, you know.
And there's going to be a fuck ton. There are a
lot of Keyblades.
There's so many Keyblades, and I will stat them all. I do have some custom Keyblades that will be in there as well. Some that I designed myself, some that I have. That I will be reaching out to others who have made their own Keyblades to see if they want their Keyblades in this game. Exactly. There's the Darkness mechanic that is not fleshed out at all. It's literally just a few words. But so now we have, when it comes to leveling up, there are like specific trees and such. The only one that's quote unquote done, it still needs revised and such, is the warrior one. So if like say you chose like the sword at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, then you get all of these things, because that's in the games what you choose for your power is you get a certain amount of abilities at certain times. Like you'll get Blitz a lot earlier than you would Scan. So for this, when it comes to
that's cool too, yeah,
when it comes to like leveling up and such, per level you can choose an ability and such. Like at level 2 you can choose ability dodge roll or counter attack and such, which so right now
there's a lot that can be shared between them. It's just when you get it.
Exactly. And there's so many abilities. Maybe if you're part of like the Mystic, you won't get like access to Ars Arcanum or something, but you'll get something really close to like Ragnarok or something, which is very magic based in the end. But per level you do get specific things, a lot of stat increases. Right now some things like AP and focus are only lower to 1 for now, which will probably change in the future, probably to higher, but then you get like skill increases too, like +5 to strength, so on and so forth. So putting that with specific keyblades or accessories, you can get don't know, maybe like plus 30 to your strength if you're going with the warriors. But all of the powers will be like that. They just have not been.
Right.
Yeah.
And like we haven't like ran a game.
No.
So there will be subject to change.
Exactly.
100%.
So when it comes to making a character, I wanted it to be very customizable, and depending on like what you choose, you get some additions or even some negatives depending on what you choose. Maybe you're a human, and in normal games, humans are usually strong and such, so you gain a +5 to either strength, defense, or will. But if you want to be, I don't know, a silly little guy and be a Disney animal, you can gain a +5 to your charm.
Gotcha. So that's like your Mickey, your Donald, your Goofy.
You can even choose to be a Heartless, akin to like Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, where you gain a +1 to your darkness meter, but you got a little bit of evil in you, so you're gonna get -5 to your sense right now.
Right.
And then
you're just trying to.
And then, much like everybody's favorite boy, Roxas, you can choose to be a nobody as well.
Yeah.
In this one, you have a choice to choose between like sense or even agility.
Okay. That's cool, because I was thinking about that too before you came over. Was like, oh, a nobody skill, they could do the thing where like Roxas shoots behind.
Exactly.
That's what the sense or the agility.
You have to think like in Kingdom Hearts 2, nobody's like the husks are very nimble. They're elegant. And they can move by really fast. So it makes sense to do sense or ability. Now, there is like build and such, depending on how you are like as a person when it comes to your physique. You can be just like an average person, which gives you like a +5 to sense. You're aware of like your surroundings. You're not super extravagant. You're a normal person, but you can be a large fella too, which will give you a +5 to your defense because you're so big and you take so much damage. But since you're so big, you don't really move that fast. So that's a -5 to your agility as well.
Of course.
And then muscular, you care all about that physique and being strong, so you get +5 to strength. But hey, Jock's usually not a nerd, so we're gonna put -5 to your will, so you're not really casting too much.
Gotta do something with that.
Or you're a string being, you're a lanky little guy. You get +5 to your agility. You're fast as hell, but you got not a lot of meat on them bones, so you're not super strong. Granted, it's only 5, but that can be changed with some accessories. Maybe I want to put on a bangle and get +5 to my strength and even that out. When it comes to your 3 major stats, your HP, MP, and focus, all you really have to do is roll a single D10 and add 5 to that. Now, you can get pretty low and such, but it doesn't necessarily matter in what order you roll. Maybe let's say you roll a total of 10 and you get a total of 8 and then a total of 15. You're not going in order, saying like, oh, my 10's gonna go in my HP, my 8's gonna go in my MP, my 15's gonna go in my focus. You can move those around and
you
such.
can pick what you want.
And then later in the game with leveling up and even accessories, those can go up as well.
Yeah.
So maybe an accessory gives, like a ribbon, gives you +2 to your HP and such, so it continues to go up and up and up. What I want the most is not having things locked in place. Like, oh, I leveled up and I just got an extra +5 and that's it. I'm stuck with this, but now you look and you're like, well, actually I have this accessory and this accessory and this accessory that I'm not using. Maybe I can put those on and gain more in that.
Yeah.
But I still have the accessories that I had on earlier. So it's interchangeable. Maybe one moment...
Right, you can swap pretty...
Maybe one moment you're rocking 30 defense, and you're like, well, I got a few accessories I can put in, and now, bam, you're rocking 60.
Yeah.
So...
Especially for like certain... You're going into something, you know that you need something to help you with resistance, or if you're pretty hurt, you can put your defense up. Exactly, yeah. And what I'm seeing too, because this is kind of the first time I'm really getting like a full in-depth look, is that it's fairly simple.
Yes.
To like, it's very beginner friendly, it looks like, and that's big because fucking D&D 5e
it is it's a monster.
It's insanely overwhelming. Like,
if you don't have someone who is well versed in the rules of D&D and how exactly to make it, if you are a newcomer to that, it is so confusing.
there's so many races, there's so many classes, there's so many different things that can change your character. This is I'm not saying like less is bad, because honestly, in a lot of cases, less can be more. And I think it's nice because it's like, oh, I have a friend that's into Kingdom Hearts, but I want to play D&D with them. Well, this is a perfect way to introduce somebody to the amazing world of tabletop RPGs, because god damn are they fun.
Yeah, and then proceeding like after like all the like, major stats that you have your 5 major skills and such, the strength, defense, everything like that. For those, all you do is roll 3d10 for those and add up that. So the maximum number for a stat that you can have at level 1 is 30. Not super, not like a large amount, but not like very little if you get maxed. Now, you can roll pretty low on such, but much like the stats from beforehand, they're interchangeable. You don't have to go in a certain order. If you get a 7 in one, but a 30 in another, it's not locked to a specific skill and such. You can move them around.
Some of them you can have it be low, and it won't even affect your character that much.
Exactly. It all depends on what you choose, where you're choosing your power within. Much like the game, it says, what power do you seek? What will you give in exchange? So let's say I want to be a warrior. So the main stat for the warrior is the strength. And at first you get to choose what's the word I'm looking for? A buff. So you can choose either like a +5 to the ability of strength, and you gain +5 to your focus. Or you can put them both together and just put a +10 to the ability. Or maybe you're already good on strength. You have a maximum of 30 right now. You could wait a little bit. You get the ability of Slapshot, which makes you... I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it does, but I'm pretty sure you just attack quicker. And if you... Let's say instead you want... Oh, I'll do the Guardian, and then I will give up the power of the Warrior. When you give up the power, you get a -10 to that stat. So maybe you are a very... burly guy who actually likes to cast spells and you don't attack much, so you would maybe choose the Guardian for your buff, get all of these buffs to your character, and you decide, I don't want to be a big fighter, so I'm going to take -10 to my strength. Now,
and like that's the other thing too about considering your race or your class, is that you could work it out to be just average if you want.
But every class has like a specific ability just for them and such that they can choose at the very beginning, or they can just choose to be better at the skill. And then going down for the last part of character creation is a personality trait. You get to choose 3 traits, and each trait either gives you a buff or a buff and a negative, depending on exactly what it is. So maybe you're a person who values your friendship, so you take the friendship trait, that where your bond is greater with other people, and that is your strength, so you get a +2 to charm when you're talking to people. Or let's say you are not the nicest person and you tend to be manipulative. You claim to help others, but you twist the truth to get what you want. You get a +4 to your charm. You're able to lie to others, but it's not good being mean, so your will's gonna go down a little bit.
I see Tempted by Darkness.
Yeah, there's Tempted by Darkness, which adds another +1. Put that together with the Heartless species. You already have a +2 to your darkness.
And then you get whatever, you gain whatever from the second level of darkness.
Exactly.
Just off the get-go.
And currently there are 18 personality traits, but I want a whole lot more.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because in Dungeons and Dragons, they kind of do this, but it doesn't mean anything.
It's solely for flavor. You can...
I stole from a royal person before, and I can't return.
Yeah, and that can be like a good story beat, like down the line, but you can just put that in your backstory and such. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Here, the actual traits do something. Granted, it doesn't do like a whole much. It's only usually +2 or +4 and such.
On a 1 to 100 scale.
Yeah, but you can have a total of 3. So maybe you find stuff that goes all for strength. You're a bodybuilder or something like that. Your strength is with the objects around you. So maybe you get an additional +6 along with your +5 for the warrior.
Stack it.
Yeah. So, unlike accessories, these aren't necessarily interchangeable, but I'm like playing with the idea like maybe down the line you gain some more personality traits and such.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. As you're adventuring and like seeing more of the world.
Yeah. And
your morals.
then like saying earlier, leveling up is either milestone or experience. Currently, monsters don't have a total amount of experience right now, but they will eventually. But yeah.
Okay.
So far, that is basically it. Some things, how the weapons look will be changed. This is literally just placeholder, but it'll look close to this, but a lot more pretty.
Yeah.
A lot less square.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it does the job.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, there is roughly, 40 pages
40
worth
pages.
of stuff right now, and I've been working on this for about a month. So, who knows what it'll look like in another month or 2 months or even a year from now. Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll stream a campaign.
I'd be down for it.
So then this is the back of the...
Yes, this is the info side of the character sheet. And
It's a two-sided sheet.
Yeah, two-sided sheet. Oh my god, two-sided sheet. For this, if you're doing it like digital, there is a drop-down menu for your power within that you can choose which one to keep track of and such. Oop, not selected all, and I'm a warrior who's large and heartless.
Easy.
Yeah, it's easy to go through.
Or you can print them blank and write it in yourself.
Or you can do that. Type in, here's where your personality traits would go. Friends here. I'm friends with fucking giant Binks.
Dude, nice.
But I'm
Winston.
Enemies with God. Additional info is
There
just
it
whatever
is.
else you want to put there. That can be either
Notes.
your notes, your backstory. Doesn't matter. It's additional info for that reason.
Yeah. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
Just throw whatever you want in there.
Yeah, there's also a drop down for levels. There's total 20 levels, just to make it simple. If I was really basing it off of Kingdom Hearts 1, there'd be 100 levels. And I'm not doing that.
I don't know about that one.
But yeah, that is the
Yeah.
alpha version 0.3
Yeah, we could call it.
of the Kingdom Hearts role-playing game.
Honestly, it's probably less than an alpha, but alpha's the best word we have for
It's
it.
in a somewhat playable state. Somewhat is the key word there.
Right. But if you're interested, and I'll probably end up making, like, cutting this out and uploading a separate video of just this. If you're interested, all of the resources are in the description. We've said it before. In the description, there's also a Discord server where everybody can talk and mingle if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you have any critiques.
And it's a cool place to hang out.
Ideas. Yeah. Try to get, like, a game together with people. Go ahead and join it. It's a central hub for people who love Kingdom Hearts and people who love tabletop RPGs. And it's honestly not exclusive to either. Because if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan and you're like, oh, here's this random obscure thing that you guys didn't think of, let us know. Let him know. He's running it.
I'm making it. I am the creator.
But that's that. It's very exciting. And it just so happens that we were planning to play Kingdom Hearts at the same time he had a decent amount done.
And it is free RPG day, and this is free. So
That's
enjoy your
true.
very free, very basic RPG.
You did say that. It's free RPG day. I wonder if there's like probably not, some kind of like RPG homebrew hub where you could upload this stuff to.
I'm sure there is.
There might be somewhere.
I'll find it. I already posted about it on my Instagram. You can find at content by cited.
Content by cited.
All one word.
I did not put that in the description.
That's fine. I said it now.
But I think it's time.
Let's get back to this.
We've been streaming for 5 hours and we still have to beat half the game. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, now
Awesome.
we're gonna tear the shit up, and by we I mean he.